two of those issues I mentioned. If he becomes unbeatable against the blitz, if he throws with a little more anticipation, throw away the short and intermediate passing game, throw away the middle stuff, throw that. Again, he could raise what you've seen from Russ at the top of his marks. You could see raised even a little higher from where he's been if he can round those parts of his game off. But those are parts that do indeed need to be rounded and a little bit more corrected. Gary Simonson, am I crazy to feel like Locke could be a top 12 quarterback in this league within a couple of years? I don't know if I'm quite there on that, Gary. I think he can be a middle of the road guy, but as well, you know, you've only had a couple of years there with Denver and him starting. It hasn't been a great deal of tape to be able to watch to make a determination on that. So I'm a little uncertain of where to land with him in regards to that. Claude Bishop says Seattle had to travel across country for a preseason game and played very well. Well,
And we are live. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Can you see me and can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, summertime blue. What is the frequency, Kenneth? Okay, so game ended like 2.5 hours ago. I'm a little late. I had some stuff going on tonight. Had a birthday, not mine, but somebody's birthday to celebrate. But here we are. I think the Hawk's Nest is starting to wind down over on his channel, so I thought it'd be a good time to go live. And this game, I mean, there was some good, some bad, but the stuff that I really care about, the stuff that is really compelling to me. Nolan Stout, thank you for the $10 super chat. First, yes, you are first. Appreciate it, Nolan. Your patronage is much appreciated. But the things that I really cared about from this game, I mostly really liked what I saw. There are some things with this team that I think are very important right now, and there are some things that I think are getting a little over-exaggerated, things people are thinking a little too much about, and those things were a little more mixed. Nevertheless, to run it down real quick, the Seahawks do fall to the Steelers 32-25. Game came down to the final seconds. So, to run it down, I already did a post-game video where I talked about this stuff, but to run it down quickly here, I really liked what I saw from the offensive line, especially the two rookies starting on the edge. Really liked what I saw from the running backs. I thought all four of them flashed. I really liked what I saw from the pass rush, even though we only had a few sacks. I think we consistently got pressure, and we especially got multiple plays being made by Darrell Taylor and Boye Mafe, who are the future at edge rusher on this team. And I would also say that I was really excited. Eventually, I came around to it. Eventually, I came around to being really excited about the reserve wide receivers. Although there were some issues there as well, they did eventually come back and have a good game. The things that were not so great from this game would probably have to be the tackling, more tackling, and tackling. That was the big thing. The good news is that's not a bad problem to have because it is preseason and the team hasn't been doing a lot of tackling in training camp yet, so it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't be very good at it. But they were noticeably worse at tackling than Pittsburgh was, so that can't be all of it. As for things that are a little more nuanced, I thought Gino played okay. He had a couple plays that bothered me, but there's mostly positive things, I guess, to take away from his game, at least as far as Gino being Gino. I would say that the play of the cornerbacks was mixed. There was a lot of missed tackling. Tariq blew a coverage. Kobe got beat on a play where he just needs to play the ball a little bit better. But they came around, they made some plays, they did some positive things, and them getting beat is part of the process with this team. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead. I'm going to start taking comments and questions now. But real quick before I do that, please like the stream if you haven't already. We've got 80 people in here already. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. We are less than 100 subs short of the August goal. We're probably going to get there pretty easily as long as we continue to build through the preseason, which sometimes doesn't happen. But if it does, we should hit that easily. You can become a channel member by clicking the join button down below for $2 or $5 a month. We are 5 members short of the August goal. We have a chance to get there. We also do super chats and tips. If you want to super chat, you click the $ next to the chat. If you want a tip, you can click the link in the description, or you can click the link that Nightbot will pop up with every now and then with the link to tip. And tips are like super chats. Your message will show up on screen if you tip. I also get to keep a higher percentage of the money, and I get the money sooner. It's actually a better way to support than super chats because of the percentages that the the percentages that get taken. But either way is fine. Of course, donating is always completely optional. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get underway here. Chicken God, Woolen will get better. I think he has a problem with closing his eyes when he is tackling, though. They can fix that. Woolen's not a good tackler, but he looks willing to tackle, is the way one person in my Discord put it. He's not like Deion Sanders, where he just doesn't want to tackle. So that's good. Not a good tackler yet, though, but you can see the will. Legends never die. Locke did good. Yeah, he did. I think we're starting to learn, though, that the fumble was his fault. I didn't think it was. I thought it was Thompson's fault because he didn't chip block. But apparently Locke is supposed to identify the blitz. So based off what we're hearing so far, it sounds like that's something Locke needed to pick up. I do think that Travis Homer doesn't let that happen, though. Travis Homer, even if the blitz isn't called out, he sees that coming and he doesn't let that happen because he is a phenomenal blocker. But nevertheless, there you go. I mean, same old, right? We're pretty used to seeing stuff like that around here, I guess. So I guess Drew Lock's just picking up where Wilson left off in some ways. Bang Bang, seems like the Hawks have had a chronic tackling problems these last few years. I don't think so, Bang Bang. I actually think last year, and I believe the year before, we were one of the best tackling teams in the league. I think actually even the years where the defense is bad, we tackle great. So I don't think that's true. I remember looking at some tackling metrics and we were actually near the top of the league. Lux, ANML Skizzer got you on that like. Thank you, AMNL. ANML. Dylan Zimmerman, middle of the D still looked wide open. Hopefully it's just a preseason problem. Can't let them get that check down right in our face like that. Well, having Jordan Brooks back is going to be nice, but I would kind of get used to that, honestly, because we have a linebacker problem. We just do. Barton is unlikely to be much more than a passing down only linebacker. I don't think he's going to be good otherwise. Dublanco looked okay, I guess, but not really somebody you want to be starting. And Vi Jones had a nice sack, but other than that, I thought he looked kind of bad. And Ballore is Ballore. So we're going to have an issue at linebacker this year, so get used to at least seeing some of that. The good news is when Brooks comes back, we'll be better against the run. Seattle 808, Maffei, Lucas, Cross all looked great. Yes, they did. Maffei, I thought, blew a couple opportunities to make a play, but he did make some plays. And Lucas and Cross, did they do anything wrong? One person pointed out that Cross was getting away with some holding calls, but I don't know if that's something you can really critique him for because there's holding on every play in the NFL, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm fine with Woolen making mistakes. He's a project. He wasn't going to come out and be an all-pro player from the get-go. He will learn a lot this year. Yeah, I don't even really need to see him playing that much this year, honestly. I would be totally fine with him just being like a project. Somebody who you stash on the bench and just give a year to watch. Black Poodle, great to see the offensive line do well. I thought the offensive line, even the backups were really good. But the starters, very little went wrong. Ayush, is it just me, or are we just terrible at screens no matter what? I mean, we've been good at screens before. We ran great screens when Holmgren was here, so, I mean, that was a long time ago. I understand that, but regardless. ANML, tackle will be a bit better when the starters are on deck. Yeah, it'll also be better when these guys are actually tackling in practice. Right now, they're not doing a lot of it. That's a big part of the problem. Hey, Brendan, I was somewhat pleased with how Locke looked tonight. Yeah, I liked it. He's getting the ball out of his hands better than Gino, I think. I think he's more decisive, which is key. OD Death Metal, Locke failed the last 2 drives with the game on the line, overthrew his receiver on 3rd down and fumbled. He did not outplay Gino. It's a push at best. Gino also had 2 drops that were perfect throws. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Quarterbacks miss throws sometimes. Every quarterback does. That's fine. The thing I saw from Gino that put me off him a little bit were the plays where he held onto the ball too long. Like the 3rd and 6 sack, I thought was terrible. He had the check down to Homer open. I think Homer had a first down for sure. And he just held the ball forever, danced around, and took a bad sack when the offensive line gave him all day. Frank Darcy, thank you for the $20 super chat, and we've already hit our super chat goal for the stream. Of course, that doesn't mean the button stops working, but we have hit our goal. Very nice. Thank you to Frank Darcy. Good job. Always enjoy your streams. Thank you, Frank Darcy. Very nice. Appreciate it. Okay, let me finish that thought. So here's the thing. Quarterbacks make mistakes. Quarterbacks throw interceptions. Quarterbacks miss throws. But when I see a quarterback holding onto the ball too long, that's something you can easily avoid. You just have to be a little more savvy. You just have to have a better understanding of the fact that I need to get this ball out of my hands ASAP. And when I saw Geno do that thing in the backfield on 3rd down where he was dancing around, I didn't like that. That bothered me more than anything Locke did. Geno otherwise actually played a pretty good game, but I need more decisiveness. Dublanco, the LB we just signed, needs to leap below on the depth chart. Dublanco played pretty good. Nothing special, nothing great, maybe not even good, but he was okay. I think he did good in the mock game too. You listen to 710 Seattle Sports Radio much? No, not really, Tummy Tickler. Noah, maybe that's just me, but was I the only one who didn't see much new things from the defense? That's not surprising, though, honestly. Like, you don't want to give away the ghost on your defense. ANML Skezer 86, welcome to the Basic Membership Club. Welcome aboard, member number 96. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome aboard, good sir. Cross was just fantastic. Yes, he was. I was impressed with DJ Dallas. Yeah, DJ looks good, man. I mean, it's not hard to run against backup defenses sometimes, but you do what you can. And DJ Dallas looks like he belongs getting some action. Russell Wilson, the new assistant GM in Denver, needs a receiver, and he'll give us a 4th for Freddie Swain. No, nobody is that dumb. There is not a person in the world who is dumb enough to give up a 4th-round pick for Freddie Swain. Not a single person. Not even Bill O'Brien would do that. Grug, are you still interested in trading for Roquan Smith? I need this situation to clear up a little bit. Is he an idiot, or is this just a misunderstanding? Because it kind of seems like he might be a bit of a problem. And we don't need to be dealing with that right now. So, it depends. Lucas had a massive pancake block. Yeah. Yeah, both those guys did everything right. And I know they weren't playing against TJ Watt, but they did it. They still did the thing. Ryan, how was Kenneth Walker? I liked what I saw from him. He did have one failed carry on a 3rd and 1, but he never should have gotten that ball. Like, Pittsburgh had 18 men in the box on that play. Yeah, Luxie. I've already looked at centers in next year's draft and a little bit of left guard. Right guard's easy. I'm not worried about right guard, but center and left guard are key. Crucial. Geno stares down his receivers, whereas Locke goes through his progressions. I feel like anytime I see Geno make a throw, he's literally just staring at one guy the entire way. Yeah, a little bit of that going on there. I just really appreciated those plays where Locke looked downfield, but then quickly found the check down. Geno did that a little bit too, but I think Locke did it more consistently. I want to see both QBs with Locke and DK on field. I'm assuming you mean Lockett, and then make decision. Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't see the starting receivers at all, so it's a little harder. Seeing as how well DJ and Homer played, would you be willing to trade Penny at the deadline if the price is right? Yes, Mason Dahl. Trading Penny, I think, is actually a great idea. He's not going to be back next year. I don't see any point to keeping him. unless this year ends up being great where you're like 4-1 at the deadline and you decide, you know what, let's let it ride. But unless that happens, I'm absolutely looking to get assets out of a player who I know is not going to be here next year. Yeah, I knew Dublanca was local, Daniel. I did hear about that. I did hear about that, yeah. It's pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, one thing I'll say, though, real quick here, not addressing any one particular comment, but just in general. Gino seems to have Pete's ear because in the post-game press conference, maybe it was just Pete was just giving his honest take. But it sounded like he was trying to talk up Gino and talk down Locke. He blamed Locke for the fumble, which okay, but then he was like, well, Gino could have been 10 for 10. Receivers dropped some passes. If those passes get caught, he's 10 for 10 at one point. It's like you can kind of feel him trying to pump up Gino and pump down Drew. So that tells me he might have a favorite in this competition. I don't know. Just something I noticed. You think we will see DK and Tyler play next week? Probably, Ace. Probably. Can we talk about Jones's dropped pick in the first quarter? Yeah, he should have had that one, but that's why he plays defensive back. I thought Jones played pretty decently, though. I mean, the fact getting his hands on that ball is notable. I seriously doubt Russell Wilson actually loves Freddie Swain. I fear we see a lot more of that last play for Drew throughout the season. Well, in fairness, like Gino would have fumbled on that play too, right? Russell would have fumbled on that play too. Most quarterbacks would. So it's not like putting another quarterback in there is going to change anything. The offensive play calling on third down still looks lackluster. A lot of give up plays. Did not like that. OD Death Metal, Gino also played against their first string defense. I thought Luck played okay, but nothing special. Downfield, all checkdowns, and 2 really bad mistakes. Gino did not play against their first string defense. Pittsburgh did not play their first string defense, right? I didn't see TJ Watt. I didn't see Fitzpatrick. I saw Witherspoon for a little bit, and then he got hurt. Maybe they played some of their first stringers, but I didn't see TJ Watt. I didn't see their studs. Hello, Jack. Thoughts on Belor at linebacker? He's perfectly fine as depth, I guess. Belor was bad at tackling. He should stick to special teams. I mean, everybody on the team was bad at tackling. Let's be real here. Um, Gino definitely gets a bit jumpy in the pocket on third down if his first read isn't open. Yeah, he panicked a little bit on a couple third downs, I think, Mason, and that bugged me. That's a great point. Maybe his favorite in that case is Drew, and that's why he is harsher on him and nicer to Gino because he expects less from Gino. I don't think so, Daniel. I don't think that's the case. Hey, Ghost. Hold on. Quick thoughts on Abe and Charles' performance. I don't think they did anything wrong in that game, really. Maybe they got away with holding penalties, but who cares? They got away with it. Pete has been Team Gino all offseason. I really don't think Locke will start unless Gino gives it away. I kind of agree 808, but he's got to give both guys an honest chance, right? Like if he really just hands the position to somebody, that's a terrible look. I saw Edmonds and Miles Jack. Yeah, they had some starters, but they definitely didn't have all of them. I was really happy today. Our rookie showed a lot of promise. Mafe looks like a guy, and I wasn't the biggest fan of his, but now I'm optimistic. Our QBs were average, but whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are talking so much about Gino. People are talking about Drew. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Neither guy's going to be here next year, probably. Maybe Gino's back as a backup, but the odds of Gino being here next year and Locke being here are low. I don't think that should be a big consideration. What is the purpose of a give up play from a play calling perspective? You don't want a big negative play. You don't want a turnover, so you just run a give up play to pick up a couple yards and then you kick. But it's preseason. Who cares if you have a big negative play? You're practicing. Just take a shot. 3rd and 11 is not that hard. Yeah, Daniel, the one touchdown isn't really on him. I don't think that's a bad coverage by Kobe, but he did miss a couple tackles as well. But again, I'm not going to hold anything against him. It's his first preseason game ever. I agree with the Pete favoritism of Geno. I think he thinks that Geno will turn the ball over less. I think he believes that Locke will turn the ball over more than Geno, and that's what he cares about. Even though Geno is going to result in more punts, Geno will result in fewer big plays, Geno's going to result in more stuff that isn't points, he also will probably turn the ball over a little bit less, and I think that's what he cares about. Thoughts on Mafe? He left a couple plays out there, but he made quite a few. I liked him a lot. He had a strip sack. He had a 4th down sack. I still don't expect huge things from him as a rookie, but he was good. There's nothing else to say other than that. Pete said if not for the 2 drops and bad footwork, Geno would have finished 10 out of 10. Yeah, I know he said that, Death Metal. That was kind of what I was saying. Like, that is... He's basically trying to, like, pump him up, right? He's trying to talk up Geno. You know, he didn't say anything about Geno's stupid sack he took on 3rd and 6 where he started dancing in the backfield. But he did bring up Drew Lock taking the sack because he didn't call out the blitz. That's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like he has a favorite. Can't wait to see Lockett and DK play with QBs. Yeah, that's I think some people should remember that. Both quarterbacks didn't get to play with our top 5 receivers. Because there was no DK, no Lockett, no Swain, no Eskridge, and no Goodwin. That's probably our top 5 receivers. So whatever. You get what you get what I'm getting at here, right? Like neither guy got to play with any of those guys. That's everything. The receivers who played today might not play any snaps for a month or two into the regular season. Did I just miss all the screen passes or did they not run any? They ran some bubble screens. I didn't see any like running back screens. I saw bubble screens that mostly didn't work that well. Do you think Alton will get decent snaps in the regular season and not be forgotten again? I do because he lost weight. And he was good today, by the way. I should point that out. I keep forgetting about that, but Alton played well. Um, what is with all these coaches not giving Locke a chance? I think it's just Geno was here last year and he played 3.5 games. And Pete is looking at that and going, that has to be my guy because he's experienced in this offense because I saw him play last year and I think he played okay. And he did, I guess. That's not an unfair analysis. But I just can't shake the feeling that Locke is probably a little bit better. It is more risk, but there's more reward. We'll be curious to see if they can use Boy on the inside in a 4-3 defense, similar to how they used Frank Clark his rookie year when Bennett and Averill were on the edge. I thought it was Bennett who moved inside and Clark was on the outside. I don't feel like Boye's big enough to play on the inside, but maybe. Yeah, ANML. All members get access to the custom emojis. If Locke would have started, I think we would have won. I was also pretty impressed with some of our new defensive scheme. Maybe. If Locke starts, maybe. I'm not going to get into that too much because I don't care about winning or losing in the preseason at all. Like, their life is too short to care about winning preseason games. Daniel, I really liked Mafe. I liked how good he was at using his hands. I liked his speed off the edge. I like the fact that he's so raw that you know he's going to get astronomically better because he hasn't played football very much. I really liked him. If Locke played how he did today all season long, that's easily over 30 touchdowns and hopefully low interceptions. There's a chance he's here longer than one season unless he gets an ego and asks for too much money. I'm just, even if he has a good season, I just want to move on to a rookie. That rookie contract is such a big deal. Whoever a wide receiver coach is needs to work on their blocking. It's an effort thing. Well, some of these players are going to be good at blocking and some won't. Like, DK is a good blocker. Derek Young is typically a good blocker. He missed some today, though. Heat favors Geno because he's been there, but I want to see Locke. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. My one real negative from today was our third-year tight end Parkinson. His hands were so weak, anyone touched him, and the pass was dropped. Yeah, there was one drop he had that I thought was bad. The other one, I don't think he even got his hands on. I've kind of given up on Parkinson, honestly. I don't think he's ever going to be anything. So I'm not even tripping on that. How did Cross play? Cross played excellent. Cool Blaster. Quick thoughts on Tariq. He got beat up a little bit, but he showed potential on a few plays, and that's all I can ask for a guy with his level of experience, which is basically none. Brandon did a poll, and 87% of his fans preferred Locke's performance. I do think he played a little bit better, but I mean, you guys, one thing that needs to be remembered is that Geno's offensive line played almost perfectly. Locke's OL played good, but it let some stuff through that you didn't see Geno have to deal with. Geno got sacked once, and it was a play where he held onto the ball for 8 years. Also worth noting for Mafe, I didn't see any of the false step that we saw in his college tape. He is working with Cliff. He is working with Mr. Averill. So if he picks things up a little faster than I thought he would, that's pretty cool. Definitely was relieved we didn't see any 300-pounders trying to cover receivers. There was one play. There was one play where Alton Robinson was covering a receiver down the field. I didn't like that. That was not okay. But I only saw it once. So, you know. Alton Robinson, I know he lost weight, but he should not be covering receivers down the field. No more of that. Pickens is going to be good, by the way, guys. I know some people are talking about how Kobe got beat up and Woolen got beat up. They did. I wonder what Aaron Curry did to get that linebacker job, Emmett. Like, he's about the last guy I thought was going to go into coaching, but he has, and I'm trying to figure out how that happened. It doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see here. Adams, our DT, looked good a few plays. Yeah, he did. I want to get excited about that, but it's not like he's not going to play in the regular season probably, right? Even if he does show, maybe he makes the team, but it doesn't go too far beyond that. Woolen was actually clamping Pickens. They switched him onto Kobe, then touchdown. And that was good coverage by Kobe, too. I'm not even mad about that. But Woolen blew the coverage on the first touchdown. He gave up a couple other plays. He missed a couple tackles. So it was rough, but I don't think that's a problem for him. As long as it doesn't destroy his confidence. Oh yeah, Ghost, our linebacker depth is not good. We know that. I think we all understand linebacker is not great. Interior linebacker is a problem. No doubt about it. But that, I mean, look, we had so many holes after last season. Something was going to be deficient going into this year probably, right? So we decided to let inside linebacker kind of marinate. And we can either trade for Roquan, which I believe is still on the table, or we can draft one next year. There are a couple guys I like in this draft, Trenton Simpson and Sewell from Oregon. Thank you, Jackson. The defensive backs looks confused at times. Hopefully Pete's defense isn't conflicting with the new 3-4 scheme. Possibly. I mean, it is their first game playing in the new scheme. And by the way, when I say new scheme. It's not radically different from the old scheme. I wish I would have focused more on Blythe. I think he played okay since I didn't really notice any jailbreaks up the middle. I think the whole starting offensive line didn't really do anything radically wrong. Like, the sack was all Geno's fault. The 3rd-and-1 failed run, like, there were 18 Steelers in the box. I don't know why we thought we were going to run for a first down there. But pretty much every other play, we had positive yards running, or Geno had plenty of time to make a throw. So I think the whole starting offensive line looked great. Oh, yeah, Justin Coleman, Locker Gaming. So I haven't heard anything about Justin Coleman so far in training camp. I haven't heard a word about Coleman. And in this game, I thought he got beat up a little bit. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe he ends up being the guy who gets kind of the surprise veteran cut. I thought it might be Artie Burns, but I don't think it's going to be him anymore. Artie Burns is supposedly playing really well. Yeah, Nwosu played. Nwosu played. The starting offensive line seemed solid, but when Ken Walker was running, it didn't seem like there were many holes open for him as compared to when Travis Homer was running. I mean, Ken Walker busted a couple decent plays. It's just he didn't have the big play that Homer did. Homer had a big run. DJ had a big run. Maybe a couple. Ugo played with all the bums. That should tell us something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big Ugo fan, but maybe he's just has to be the guy. Ghost, did you notice a lot of press coverage early on? What do you think we do at nickel corner? I didn't notice a ton of press early on necessarily. What do you think we do at nickel? I think it's just going to be Ugo, and maybe we try Kobe there. We're giving Kobe tryouts there, aren't we? Please stop adding spoiler game scores to your... What are you talking about, ZX? Everybody does that. I can't... It's not a movie, it's a sporting event. Watch it live. Or don't look at YouTube. I don't know if you're being serious with that one, but that's not happening. If our OL is really decent and Homer and Dallas continue to look good, I'd trade Penny ASAP before he gets hurt, before the deadline. Yeah. Here's the question. Here's the thing, though. If you let him walk at the end of the year, you might get a compensatory pick, right? So you can get a pick that way. And the pick you get compensatory, it could be a third rounder. It would probably be more like a fourth. So what can you get in a trade? Is it going to be more? Because playing the compensatory game is a gamble. Okay. Okay. Yep, it's football season. The trolls are back, people. A lot of us fans are in Oz. You mean like the prison? You're in prison? What the heck? Yeah, Daniel, Miles Miles Adams played good, but I don't think it's going to amount to anything. When Geno threw a check down, it was thrown with the like idea of disappointment, if that makes sense. Like after 5 seconds, Geno would say, "Darn it, I have to throw it short." Locke was on top of checkdowns. I kind of feel like that too, not necessarily because of how he looks when he checks it down, but that 3rd and 6 play by Geno is still bugging me a little bit. Like, dude had Homer for a first down, and instead he dances around in the backfield and takes a dumb sack. I don't dig it. I do not like that. Mate, Oz equals Australia. Oh. Ah, I see. Huh. I never really thought about that before. Hmm. Good consideration, I guess. If we can't get better than a third, then just hang on to Penny. Yeah, the compensatory game, I guess the downside is you have to wait an extra year. But yeah, it's still definitely valuable, right? I mean, the 2024 draft is going to be important for this team too. Will Miles Adams or Collier make the team? I kind of feel like both will, but Adams will make the practice squad. Also, as for Derek, the man has got to work on his hands. Yeah, he had a bad drop. I mean, his hands are not amazing in general. They call him a Deebo Samuel clone, and I don't think Deebo has amazing hands either. Also, how is Gino dodging this DUI charge he had? He's pushing it off because this year is his chance. I think he's just pushing it off. Gino was watching Russ too much now. He's holding onto the ball, ignoring checkdowns. I mean, sometimes it does look a little bit familiar, right? I guess. But Gino, I don't know. Like it should be a pretty simple idea to just get the ball out of your hands quickly. Like tonight, with the way the defense was playing, I think we could have scored every time we had a possession if we just kept it smooth and just check down, check down, check down. But there was always that one play where we went for it, or Gino held onto the ball too long, you know? Trade Penny for Jimmy G. Okay. I don't feel confident in Jason Myers at all. He's going to cost us a game or two this year. It kind of doesn't matter, though, Ghost, because Myers is definitely going to be gone next year. There's no way we bring him back unless he has another god-tier year. Gino is decent when the quick pass play is designed, but anything mid-range or long developing, he sucks. For a vet, his processing is trash. I mean, there's a reason why he's been kicked around the league for a while. And some people were trying to say, oh, he hasn't had a real second chance since New York. But, I mean, he keeps getting kicked around the league despite getting a chance to show himself in practice and training camp and preseason. And it's nothing remarkable. So, I don't know. I don't see it. Cool Blaster, is it just me or our tackling these past 2 years been terrible and it's looking the same this year? I don't think our tackling was bad last year at all. I thought it was great. I actually think even when our defense has been bad, our tackling has been good. That's one of the things I think we're consistently good at. So I don't believe that. I think every team misses tackles, and we actually miss less tackles than other teams. How do you feel about CJ Stroud? I like Stroud more than I thought I would. I'm not in love with him, but he seems pretty good. Who was the third best defensive player tonight besides Mafe and Josh Jones? Maybe Michael Jackson, maybe Darrell Taylor, maybe Shelby Harris. I know Taylor blew the sack, but he made several plays in the backfield that I thought were nice. Is Will Levis still your QB1 right now? Yes, Jackson, he is. Brandon, can you say that Belor or Dublanco or anyone else come close to the performance Vi Jones put in at linebacker? Other than the sack, I didn't think Vi Jones played well. I wasn't impressed. But none of them really impressed me. They're just not that good. In fairness, though, the defensive line needs to do a better job at keeping blockers off of the linebackers, but neither guy really impressed me. If Locke had converted the third down or not fumbled because he didn't see the blitz, I think he might have flipped the script. Maybe next week he will. Yeah, I mean, I agree he didn't play well enough to flip the script, but watching the game, I believe he played better. And I believe he's the better quarterback. Yeah, Tyreek Smith is injured, Daniel. His hip. Something's up with his hip. How do you feel about KJ Jefferson from Arkansas? I like him a lot. I don't know if he fits our current offense. But I do like him a lot. I think it's going to take a while to see Kobe and Tariq to start play well, not going to lie. That's usually how it is, and that's fine. This year is not a year where we're expecting amazing things anyway. Am I alone for feeling like the sack fumble on Locke would have been a roughing the passer on a big-name QB? I don't think so, Locker Gaming. The call that was really bad was when that Steelers player got away with the Hines Ward block. That should have been 15 yards the other way. But, whatever. Excuse me. It's preseason, right? Like, who cares about that? Taylor said his goal is 15 sacks. You think that's realistic? As a player, yes. But I don't think he gets to 15 because we're not going to force enough passes. I think we're going to be playing from behind a decent amount. Teams are going to be running the ball because our run defense is not going to be as good as it was the last 2 years. And you're going to see less pass attempts, which means less opportunities to rush the passer for Taylor. But I think he'll get 12 because he's really good. Ethan's Tech World, I really want to win week 1 out of all the games, but I have a feeling the team will start slow and get hotter down the stretch. I think the offense is definitely going to start slow. I think the defense, once they get better tackling, is going to be pretty good, but it's going to be hard to score. If Drew starts next week and DK and Tyler play as well, Geno apologists will still have excuse ammo. The problem is, it seems possible that Pete is a Geno apologist. Are you going to stream any regular season games this year? Yes, I don't know which one, though. I think Taylor will get like 7 to 8 sacks. That would actually be pretty disappointing, football shorts. Got to do better than that. Cross looks like a franchise cornerstone already. He's a beast. Yeah, I really like him. I really like him. Let's see here. So let me look at the Seahawks schedule real quick. Figure out what game I should stream. Yeah, Uchenna was meh, but I'm not expecting a ton from Uchenna. I don't like him that much. I'm not streaming the season opener. You people need to stop asking me for that. I'm not doing the opener. Top sleeper quarterback in the upcoming draft class? Maybe Hendon Hooker. Okay, let's see here. I thought Waldron was supposed to have more sway this year. Is Peter already butting in? In reference to what specifically? Oh, the lock Geno thing? Well, I think that Waldron has pretty good play calling responsibilities, but I'm sure that Pete has a lot of say in who actually is his quarterback. He is the head coach, right? Like, everything that happens on this team is on him at the end of the day. Do you think our defensive line can eat against the Broncos' offensive line? I don't think our defensive line is going to be that great, but their offensive line probably won't be either. Okay, let me see here. Maybe I could stream. Should I stream like maybe the Falcons game week 3? And if it goes well, maybe I'll do another game later in the year. I could do the Falcons game in week 3. And if it goes well, maybe I'll do like the Cardinals game. One of the Cardinals games. Maybe the Carolina game. That'll be fun. We get to play against Baker. No, I'm not doing the Geno dance. I have the green screen up. You guys wouldn't be able to see it. Hooker is one of my favorites. Grayson McCall, Will Rogers, Devin Leary, and of course Will Levis. I would keep an eye on Spencer Rattler. I know he's kind of an idiot, but if he gets his head on straight, Spencer Rattler could be something. I will be streaming the Seahawk opener and every other Seahawk game. Expect a lot of cursing. I mean, in a year like this, is it even worth getting that mad? Like, we know it's going to be not a very good year, right? I think we all know that. Over under 175 rush yards week 1. Probably under. I think we're going to be playing from behind at least some. Seahawks should play linebackers Iwe Buniwe and Jones and Muse and Donkor. Hawks knows what Brooks, Barton, Belor have. I don't think we know what Barton has at all. Yeah, I know Hooker's 25. I'm not crazy about it, but look, here's the thing. The new model might be draft a quarterback, get him for 3 to 5 years, and then let him go. And then get another quarterback. So if that's what you're going to do, then the fact that Hooker is 25 means nothing, right? You're going to get rid of him before he turns 30 regardless. Who did you expect to play better today than he actually did? Maybe Justin Coleman. Justin Coleman looks like he might be washed to me. Rattler is a big swing on a boomer bust prospect. Dude's got a long road to get back into the conversation. Oh, I agree. I completely agree. But I don't know. I'm wondering. I'm going to keep an eye on him. I'm going to try to keep an open mind, but I know he's a bit of a dummy. Hawks are probably going to have to play a lot more 4-3 base defense than they expected initially. What makes you say that, Chicken God? Cassis, number 86, great run blocker. Yeah, we have some receivers that can block and some who can't. Yeah, maybe I'll stream week 3 against Atlanta. And if it goes well, maybe I'll do more games later in the season. You guys got to understand, I like to watch the games with my family. That's something that I like to do. That's something that I've been doing since I was 6. What did you think of Kobe Bryant? He's fighting in there, Martin. He's fighting. Gave up some stuff, but didn't get discouraged. I like him. I think he's going to be good. Do you expect DK to get over 1,000 yards? Yeah, you only need to average 59 yards a game to get to 1,000 yards. That should be easily doable. DK played through an injury last year, had games where the quarterback barely looked at him, played 3.5 games with a backup quarterback, 3 games with a quarterback with a thumb that didn't work, and he still almost got there, so yes. Yeah. It's possible in the coming years, maybe that dynamic changes. Like, my parents are starting to lose their love of football, I think. My dad is getting sick of how much money the players are making. And I think my mom likes baseball more. So maybe it changes in the coming years and it ends up being not a big deal. But for the moment, I want to watch games with my family. OD Death Metal is someone who was here for Stauffer, McGuire, Meyer, Freeze. Rookie QBs are problematic. Yeah, it's easier now, though, Death Metal. It's easier for a young quarterback to come in and start playing well. Who has the most football knowledge in your family? Oh, it's pretty easily me. My parents watch the game recreationally. They mostly just watch the games, and then when the games are over, like, they just go about their business. Otherwise, they don't throw themselves into it like I do. If it's not me, that's kind of sad. Curhan isn't starting over Gabe Jackson, though. No. Haynes might start over Gabe Jackson. It's possible. I think it would be a good idea. Gabe is not going to be here next year no matter what, almost certainly. He's just okay. But Haynes could be part of the long term. Let's find out. Ideally, we beat the Broncos, then go 1-16, get a new OC paired with Stroud. 1-16 is a little too dark. 1-16 is just a little too depressing. Which receivers do you want to see play Melton and K. Johnson and Hart with Drew Lock for 5th receiver, and play Swain, Eskridge, Thompson and 5th receiver with Gino? I don't mind too much. Most of those guys are not necessarily going to be big parts of the future. I give them a chance, but Penny Hart's not much of anything. Like, who cares if he gets to play or not? He's been on the team for a while and never done anything. I'm on the same train as your old man. This era of football is rough to watch. I miss players getting jacked up, less commercials, and shorter games. Yeah, he's just getting sick of how much money these players make. You know, I try to tell him, like, oh, it's a percentage of the money the team is making, but he's just like, I don't understand how life is getting harder for everyone else, and yet these players are getting so much more money. He doesn't get it. And I kind of get that. I'm a little more scientific about it. Is your dad unaware that the owners make way more money, kind of like being mad at the cashiers and burger flippers, but okay with the franchisee? Yeah, Neil, he knows. But he also knows that it ultimately comes back to the fans to put the money in the owner's pocket because they're spending ridiculous amounts on tickets and food and merchandise. So he also looks at that and goes, okay, I see who's actually getting hurt here. So I don't know if it's the right way to look at things, but that's kind of the way he's looking at it. The rumor is Russell hasn't been looking great in team training camps. I've heard some good things. I've heard some bad things. I haven't been paying much attention to it. I got to be honest. I mean, obviously, I want the pick next year to be as good as possible. But I'm trying to not get hung up on the Wilson thing. I talk about it a little bit sometimes. But I don't know. I don't want to get hung up on it too much. Some of the stuff I see on like Twitter and Instagram is just sad, and I'm trying to avoid that. Cross was flat balling. You love to see it. Cross looked great. Gabe will be getting cut or traded in the next couple weeks. I doubt it. I feel like we think he's too good to cut, and we don't have enough depth at left guard. Phoebe, we won't be good at all, but we'll be surprised people will not be as bad as they think. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get the number one pick. I'll say that. Ghost, is Jamal going to be wearing a cast for the rest of the season? I think so. I believe so. It's on one finger, though, so it shouldn't be a massive issue. Maddie keeps throwing some shots at Russ. Yeah, I know, Jackson. He really doesn't think Russ is good. He really thinks Russ is a bad quarterback now. And I may not agree with Maddie on some stuff, but I know that everything he says comes from a place where he put like hours of research into it, and he has a reason for believing that. So I give what he says like a lot of credence and a lot of credit. When he says something, I try to open my mind to it. But I don't know. Some of the stuff I just couldn't quite get on board with. Blame the owners for making a lot of money. The players only get a percentage. Yeah, I know, T-Law. I know it's all connected, but how are the owners getting more money? Partially because the fans pay more money to go to the games and buy food and merchandise. Luxie, are there perhaps any running backs you're looking into that we might draft to refill our running back corps since guys like Penny Homer's contract ends after this year and Dallas the year after? Not yet. And if there is, it's probably going to be a late round guy. How many games do you see us getting blown out? Not a ton, Mason. Most games in the NFL are close. Grug, do you think we can still pick in the top 10 if we finish 7-10? We did last year. I mean, Russ is out of his prime, technically. Yeah, he is. He's definitely out of his prime. But Maddie's stuff goes way beyond that. Maddie legitimately thinks that he's not better than Geno. I'm pretty sure. I think he legitimately believes that Geno is as good as Wilson at this point. When's the next B&B stream? I think maybe Friday. Maybe we'll do it Wednesday before the next preseason game. The fumble wasn't even Locke's fault. He had something to do with it. There were a few pieces of that play that didn't work. Locke should have audibled or picked up the blitz pre-snap. Forsyth should have made the block, and Thompson should have chipped. Neil Marsh, okay, real talk, Russ Wilson was the worst third down QB in football last year. That's not throwing shade at someone to quote their stats. Oh, I agree. I agree with that. That's totally fine. That's totally fine, Neil. And that is a big strike against Wilson. But I'm just saying there are some things that Maddie says that even though I can kind of see where he's coming from, I just don't totally get on board with it. Like I said, he thinks that Geno is as good as Wilson at this point. He thinks that Pete Carroll's an amazing coach. He thinks that Ken Norton was doing an amazing job as a defensive coordinator, and he was mad when we fired him. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but I can't get on board with that. That's a little much. Yeah, Matty F. Brown is the guy's full name. Kobe had pretty good coverage on Pickens, who's a dog, but Pickens made the better play. Yeah, that was just a great throw and a great catch. I'm not mad. Emmett, I'm not a golf fan, but I think we should consider signing him next year if he's available. If we draft a rookie to expedite his development in the Rams offense, especially if Goff is cheap. The thing is, if you draft a quarterback in the first round, you kind of want him to start immediately. That's the way things are now. Because the greatest asset in sports is a quarterback on a rookie deal. So if you spend a top pick on a quarterback, you kind of want him to get out there immediately. So, I don't know. I don't know about that. As far as I'm aware, Matty cares a lot more about defense than offense. He probably sees a lot of stats that are very important for a Waldron offense that Gino is better than Russ at. Yeah, Matty is a Seahawks fan. I'm almost positive he is. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that, Alexander. I think he does care more about defense than offense, but he also cares about offense. The thing is, he doesn't just have knee-jerk reactions like some people. He is somebody who will spend a ton of time researching stuff, ton of time grinding tape, and then he comes up with these takes. So you have to give him credit for that, even if you end up not agreeing with the take. You know? ANML cross-played, and he played great. I really hope Locke can steal this job from Gino and ascend. That's best for the team. Yeah, Gino's just seems like a little bit of a dead end to me. Drew Lock looked more comfortable than Gino back there. I kind of feel that way too. Neil Marsh, yeah, and I can totally agree that his take on KNJ is nuts. Half the optimism I have for the team this year comes from Norton's firing. He made some valid points, but I didn't think it was worth the other stuff that we had to deal with. Goff is a backup. Oh, okay. Well, how much would Goff cost as a backup, I wonder? Would he play on a cheap contract, or would he be like, I'm Jared Goff, I'm the number one overall pick, I'm getting paid? My dream scenario is we draft a rookie like Anthony Richardson next year and bring in Tom Brady on a one-year deal. Our O-line of Lucas Cross looked really solid. I feel like this is the beginning of the end for Brady. I don't think we're going to be feeling this way at the end of the year. Ghost, did you notice how many times Drew looked like he wanted to go deep, but he just checked it down? Yeah. And I think that's the best thing right now. I think a lot of checkdowns are going to open things up, and things are going to be better. So stick to it. I like that. Jackson, you going to stream UW games again this year? Yes. Kyle, who started at right guard? It was Phil Haynes, I think. Hell, I'll take anyone who was a Rams backup to help our rookie because Gino ain't teaching our rookie anything. I think Gino had a 2-year deal, but it's pretty easy to get out after one, so I'm hoping that happens. No hate to Gino, but he's just not interesting. Matthew, how about our front four? They were stout. We got a good pass rush, but it was not very good against the run. No, we are not the poor me whiners. We don't have a $25 million per year backup that's better than our awesome new rookie. We overdrafted because we were scared to pick Mac Jones. Neil, I don't think football teams make decisions based off stuff like that. Winning is what matters. If you win, everything will be fine. If Locke can lead the first drive for a tutty to start the game, I'd be sold. Jackson, give me a minute breakdown on KJ Jefferson, a.k.a. Cam Newton 2.0. Look, he hasn't played enough for me to really go too deep into that. He's going to have to put some serious tape on film this year so I can break him down. But I think calling him Cam Newton 2.0 is basically... I mean, that's basically... He's got all the same stuff. He's got the size, the speed, the athleticism. He even does the thing with the towel that Cam did. He wears the same jersey number. I'd much rather see Phil Haynes than Gabe. Yeah, and Phil Haynes might get hurt, but okay, then put in Gabe. It's fine. If Phil Haynes gets hurt, okay, you can put Gabe in. And at that point, we can safely say that Haynes is just too injury prone to count on, and we move on. But if you put Phil Haynes out there and he plays a full 17 game season, you can move on. KJ is like a slightly more accurate version of Justin Fields. There might be a little bit there. Cam is not on a team. There's no way he should be. Like, Cam was probably the worst quarterback in the league who actually played last year. And apparently he wants to start. Apparently he actually wants to at least compete for a starting job. So, like, you combine his terrible play with his delusion about how good he is, and you have something that you can't even consider signing. Do you agree with Pete blaming the sack on Drew Lock? I think it's valid. I feel like Thompson needs to chip, but Locke had something to do with it. All right, guys, we are about an hour into the stream. Things are going great. We got a lot of people in here still. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We have 263 people in here. Please like the stream if you haven't already. We're at like 80 likes, I think. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. We are closing in on our monthly goal. I think we'll get there no problem. You can become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month by clicking on the join button. We also have super chats. You can click the dollar sign by the chat. We have tips. You can tip by clicking on the link in the description or getting it from Nightbot. Tip comments and super chat comments are guaranteed to be seen, read, and addressed. Otherwise, I'm getting to as many as I can. And yeah, those are the best ways to support the channel. Jackson, you seen Prey yet? Yes, I did. It was good, other than the fact that it looks really, really cheap. But it was cheap, so whatever. It was pretty good. I liked it. Goodwin, Melton, Swain, and Derek Young in order. In terms of how good they are, or how much I want them on the team. Yeah, Austin, I'm going to do that before the season starts. I need to remember to do that. I don't like the new member badges. Yeah, Daniel. The thing is, Drew Lock should communicate to the running back line that the guy is blitzing to pick him up and or shift the line over. The QB is supposed to point it and call it out. Yeah, but I think Travis Homer blocks him. How good they are? Okay, Goodwin, Swain, Young, Melton. I guess. Do you watch The Boys? I have not watched The Boys yet. I've heard it's good. The new Sandman show is so good. I'm not familiar with it. If Phil Haynes wins the starting job, will we move him to left guard and move Damian back to right guard? No, I don't think so. I think that we are probably going to rock with Damian at left guard because we're making a gamble. We're making a gamble that he can be good at left guard because that's way more valuable than being good at right guard. But if the gamble doesn't work out, you're just left with a player who doesn't help you. Thank you, Young Boy Goat. Appreciate it. ANML Skezer Barton thoughts? It was okay. Nothing terrible. But I'm not high on Barton. Emmett, with our run-heavy attack, it's imperative that we don't play behind the chains. I didn't see any procedural penalties on the offense. That was nice to see. Yeah, I got to stay on time. And I'm always going to say that you can have the greatest running attack of all time. You still need a quarterback who can hit that third down and 6 on a crucial drive. You're going to have those moments where you just need a quarterback who can convert third down. And don't get me wrong, clearly Wilson wasn't that guy, but Geno's definitely not that guy either. So you're getting the Wilson. So if that ends up holding, then Geno's just going to be Wilson without the stuff that made Wilson really good. No escapability and no great deep ball. So it's yeah. What I'm saying is Geno needs to be decisive with his decisions, or else there's nothing he offers you. Travis Homer, one of the best pass blocking running backs in the league, so he probably picks him up no problem. Oh yeah. The QB still supposed to call it out. I agree, but still, there are layers to that failure. Hopefully Cross can be next Papa Walter. I don't think he's going to be that good, Austin, but he'll be close. He'll be close enough to where we like him. Young Boy Goat, is Artie Burns going to start? Yes. I think so. Neil Marsh, wait a minute. If Swain is the second best receiver in that group, then how the heck do you figure Russ Wilson, assistant GM of Denver, who loves him and has said so, Broncos draft pick, let's trade? Well, he's the second best right now because the other two have never played in an NFL game. They're rookies. Swain has been around 2 years. That makes him better by default. That does not make him good. That does not make him valuable. That does not make him desirable. It just means that he's better than guys who have never played in a real NFL game before. Don't discount the value of that experience. And how was Homer's performance today? Pretty awesome. Yeah, Homer was maybe our best player on offense. Homer was awesome. Dakota, what do you feel Locke need to do in a game to prove he should start? As far as I'm concerned, he should start right now, but I don't know what it's going to take to prove to Pete. This guy needs to sell an overpriced t-shirt, but we need a catchy slogan. Nelson's notes on the Seahawks, go Hawks. That's not catchy at all. Young Boy Goat, do you think Kobe should be moved to slot? Maybe for this year, if he's the best guy. Jesse Lund, I feel like Cody Barton is the Trey Flowers of linebackers, has the athleticism but can't use it. I think he's good in coverage, but that only gets you so far. Didn't Young Boy Goat, didn't Artie Burns shut down DK last year? I don't think he shut him down. Imagine if we played Lockett for more plays, we would have gotten at least 2 more touchdowns. Lockett didn't play at all, right? Lockett played 0 snaps, I think. Austin, is Eskridge still hurt? Yeah, but he's close. Supposedly he's very close to coming back. Drew in practice compared to when he played with Broncos, he looks like he is actually trying now maybe the change environment. There's been a lot of negative things said about the environment he was in over in Denver. Maybe. T-Law, Darrell Taylor, 12-plus sacks. I think that's about right. I don't think he's going to get to 15 because we're not going to be forcing enough pass attempts, but I think he can get to like 12. How long are you streaming for? I might go until like 11, 20 more minutes. My throat is raw right now, though. So let me go swallow some honey, and I'll be back in a minute here. All right, we're back. Austin Roberts, you're going to be on Twitch after? I think so, yeah. I kind of got a lot of sleep last night. So I might stay up late on grinding on Fire Emblem. King Bomber, if they feel comfortable with Mafe around mid-season, they might move Uchenna as a down rusher and keep Mafe as the coverage guy. I'm not expecting Mafe to do much more than rush the passer this year when he does play. Sup, Jose? Pandalorian, it looks like I'm going to do the Cowboys. That's what most people want. I don't know why. The Bears game is the second game. Isn't that better than the third game? Brendan's t-shirt might just say Aaron Fuller Fan Club. Not anymore after that punt. After that punt, no. That was so bad. That was so bad, I don't think I can be an Aaron Fuller fan anymore. Shamarius, I didn't see Gilmore, but maybe he was out there and I didn't notice. Yeah, OD Death Metal, gotta stay away from turnovers. Absolutely. You know that's why Gino has the job right now. Gino has the job right now because he's not turning the ball over. Kingdom Hearts playthrough when? I've already played through Kingdom Hearts, Ian House. My first ever video game stream on YouTube was the final boss rush in Kingdom Hearts 3. That boss rush broke me because literally 3 hours of cutscenes intermixed in those boss fights, and eventually I just gave up and started skipping them. It's a game with Disney characters, and it has a storyline more complicated than Metal Gear Solid. I don't understand it. But, yeah, that was actually the first video game stream I ever did on this channel. I streamed most of it on Twitch, but back then nobody watched me on Twitch. Yes, Daniel, Kingdom Hearts. Martin Sanchez, do you play Madden? No, Madden sucks. Madden sucks. I don't play that. You should play Division 2, man. It's super dope. Never played Division, yeah. Did you play Elden Ring? Not yet, OD. I will. I will. Emmett, if Gino starts week 1, Lumina will be raining thunderous boos by the second quarter. Just feels like we're going to punt a lot if it's Gino. Mason Dahl, we may have the best rookie tackle. Did you see Neil's rough first game? Yeah, I mean, we have the purest tackle. Neil and Aquanwu may end up playing guard, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked. Who are your top 3 easy cuts right now? Probably the cornerback who blew the tackle on the game-winning touchdown. What was his name? Turner Valentine. Maybe Greg Island. He fell down on the play where Drew Lock fumbled. And I guess Jacob Eason. He can't even get on the field in a preseason game. I don't know. Far Cry Primal. I played most of the Far Cry games, Joseph, but not that one. Bethesda fan excited for Starfield. I've heard good things about Starfield, hype-wise. I'll definitely be looking into that when it comes out. Do you think Coleman will make the team? If I had to guess right now, yes, but I don't know. He is a veteran. Maybe he gets seniority, but I just haven't heard anything about him in camp or and now this preseason game. He looked like he might be a little washed. Derek Young looked like he could be a factor. Yeah. I'm hoping we can get some of these guys to the practice squad because we're not going to have room for all of them on the roster. Austin, do you plan on keeping Carson emoji? Probably not, Austin. That'll go... When we get back to 100 members, probably, I'm going to flush some of the old emojis and get new ones. Because if I flush emojis now, I'm just going to lose the slot because we fell under 100. Is OBJ on a team? I don't think so. They're destroying Elder Scrolls Online. I've never been an MMO guy. B, did you ever play the old Splinter Cell games? I played all the Splinter Cell games, Jesse. Those are the only video games my dad liked. Yeah, Daniel, I think Kobe missed at least one tackle that I remember. He did come back, though, and start playing better later, but I think he missed at least one that I can remember. Taylor gets too excited when he sees the QB and gets undisciplined. Yeah, Mason, that missed sack was pretty bad, but better he does that in the preseason and cleans it up than does it in the regular season. Boye looks like Cliff Averill, or is that old news? People have been talking about Boye Mafe looking like Cliff Averill. B-Boy Loretto, hey, is John Ursua still on our practice team? I don't think he's here anymore. I think he got hurt, and that was the last we ever saw of him. If I recall correctly. Neil Marsh, in an interview recently, Pete said something to the effect of, yes, we are going to do exactly that, be predictable and running all the time, hoping we kept most of the playbook off limits. Well, when these are your quarterbacks, you kind of want to run the ball a lot. T-Man, wasn't the problems that Taylor had today what he had last year in the preseason? I can't remember what happened in the preseason with him last year. Yeah, exactly, Daniel. That's what I'm saying. At least better that happens now than later when the games count. Yeah, maybe Mason. I don't know. I don't think Parkinson's the guy. I just don't see much from him. Yeah, Shelby Harris made some plays, but we know he's good. He's been good for a while, so he's definitely going to be good. Yeah, I'll figure it out, Austin. Yeah, I still think Maffei's just going to be used as a pure pass rusher for. I would be happy with like 15 snaps a year. 15 snaps a game, excuse me. Of course. Yarley wasn't that impressed with Locke, to be honest. I mean, we're probably looking for a quarterback regardless, Yarley, so I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, Kenny Pickett played pretty good, man. Kenny Pickett played pretty good. Yeah, Mason, but he put it exactly where it needed to go, and Parkinson just closed his hands too quickly or something. Chase Stern, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Woolen starts this year? I'm still going to say no, unless there are a lot of injuries. I don't think he starts on, like, pure merit. That stupid turnover at the end was prime Drew Lock. There were a few moving parts to that turnover, though, Yarley. The running back needs to pick up the block. The offensive lineman needs to not fall down. Drew Lock needs to pick up the blitz pre-snap. Like, few moving parts there. Ooh, by the way, I know this is kind of late, but I want to try something here real quick to see if this works. So, I'm going to try to buy a membership for a random person in the chat. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's get that person out of here quickly. So a random person who is currently in the chat should be receiving an invite to join. I am sending a $5 membership to a random person. I want to see if this works. Nicholas Cahoon. Congratulations. All right, gifted memberships work. So what I could do is just gift a bunch of memberships to get to 100 and then do the cycle the emojis. Okay, cool. So that's how that works. Yeah, Yarly, of course. I definitely don't think that Locke is anything other than a stopgap, even if he has a good season. Yes, John Robinson. Brendan Nelson's haircut likes my hair. Locke should start week 1. Locke and Lockett will score touchdowns. I would find it more interesting, yeah. Are you taking door A, Locke exceeds our wildest dreams, plays like a Pro Bowler and gets signed? B, we suck and draft a QB and walk one in round 1? Probably B. Like, here's the thing. Even if Drew Lock balls out, there's no guarantee he's going to keep balling out for the foreseeable future. You going to a game this year? No, young boy. I don't like going to games that much. It's a pain. Yarly, our run game and D will carry us, but Locke ain't the guy. I think he can play okay, but not good enough for me to really justify keeping. Who do you think should start, Locke or Gino, just by tonight? I think Locke played a little better. Nathan Wise, Tariq looked raw, Puna looked dominant. I'm going to need to look at what Puna did in this game a little bit more. I didn't notice Puna looking dominant, but maybe he did and I just didn't notice. Mason, considering we took the route of the black pill, how do you feel to this point? Pretty good. I mean, given the fact that we took the black pill, this is starting about as well as I could have expected. We had a great draft. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at what Puna did. If he did look great, that's actually really relieving because our defensive line is not stable. Cody Barton needs to be traded for a couple pieces of bread and a yo-yo. You may as well let him play, Pierce, is the thing. Young boy, do you watch Stranger Things? No, young boy, I don't. I've not watched Stranger Things yet. I've heard it's pretty good, but there's just something about it that I haven't been... There's just something about it that doesn't jump out to me. I don't know. Young boy, are you making any videos this week besides streams? I'm sure I am. I'm definitely going to make something. Probably nothing tomorrow because it's the day after the game. But, I don't think that, I don't think I'm going to be taking a week off from videos. There's always stuff to talk about. Linebacker, crazy hypothetical. If Drew starts and gets us to 10 wins, mostly off the back of Ken and Penny, would you sign him to a $22 million a year? That sounds like putting yourself kind of in purgatory. I don't know if I like that. Mason, do you think BBK could have given Barton a run for his money? No. I don't think BBK was much either. I think both guys are just special teamers, and Barton can maybe play on like third down, but that's about it. Yeah. Well, Jesse, here's the thing. I can't gift memberships to specific people. I give it out randomly. I do a gift membership, and a random person gets it. Like, I have no control over who gets it. So, I don't think that would work. B-Boy Loretto, do you think we're going to get Jimmy G? No. Jesus Christ the Sacrifice, Brendan, have you watched The Boys? No. Yeah, Jose, I just wanted to see if it worked because I haven't seen it work before. I've had it enabled on my channel for a little bit here, but I haven't been streaming a lot lately, so And the times that I did, I forgot to test it, but it works. Actually, you could just ban everyone but the person you want to give the gift to. It takes a long time to unban people on YouTube. It's actually really, really unwieldy, unbanning people. Mason Dahl, I want to try Josh Jones at slot corner. Clearly, he's earned his roster spot, and we have a hole there. I mean, I wouldn't like his odds to be effective there. He's a safety. Tackman, Locke was solid tonight. Yeah. Young boy, thoughts on Kenneth Walker? He looked good. He didn't get the big holes that Homer got. He didn't bust the big carries, but he looked pretty good. The play where he got stuffed on 3rd and 1, I don't put that really on him. You can't run into a box that has that many people in it. Unfair. Yeah, our run blocking might have even been better than our pass blocking, and our pass blocking was good. Abe Lucas is a big body, for sure. Honestly, I still think Drew Lock is better than Garoppolo. UDFA safety out of Miami, Blount, who I like, was making plays all over special teams. I didn't specifically notice that, but I believe it. That's how those guys make the team. Power hitter, I think it's funny Ugo was playing with third stringers. Yeah. We decided to keep him, but we're not going to let him run with the starters. It's kind of weird. Lily, he should have picked up the blitz before the snap. That's the part that was his fault. He should have picked up the blitz pre-snap and had his running back chip. But the running back should have chipped anyway. The offensive lineman shouldn't have fallen down. Da 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 da. Yeah, Austin, I agree. I think Drew Lock is at least as good as Garoppolo, honestly. Daniel, yeah, Blount down to punt at the 4-yard line, tackled the guy on kickoff immediately, tackled the guy on the kickoff another time. Nice. He was the one who downed the punt? Cool. Blair looks like a shell of himself. Well, it's the first preseason game. And he's probably, very concerned about getting injured again. Gudge Studios, how do you think the rookie corners performed? I mean, they got beat up a little bit, but they stayed in the fight. I didn't mind it. No problem. All right. All right. I think that's going to do it for this stream, guys. I think we're going to start winding it down. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We picked up a couple members. I know we picked up a slew of subs that didn't show up here because I think they only show up if people make their subs public. Pretty successful. What I'm going to do, because this stream is so late, I'm going to do another stream tomorrow. Probably, I don't want to commit to an exact time, but I'm going to do another stream tomorrow to talk about this game a little bit more. Because I know some people who wanted to participate are in bed. So, if you guys want to talk more about it, I'll stream sometime tomorrow. I'll figure out when. I don't want to commit to too early. Some people probably are going to still be in bed. Some people are going to be in church. So we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll do it a little bit during the Mariners game. We'll see. But thank you, everybody, for coming out and participating. We will see you guys later. I'm going to jump on Twitch a little later, I think. And do Fire Emblem. So if you guys want to watch that, go jump on Twitch. It's in the description. See you guys later. Peace out. Go Hawks. We're here.